The 2021 First Global Challenge, Discover and Recover, is an exciting opportunity for teams to turn their STEM skills into real-world application for the benefit of their countries. The season consists of 3 challenges. The Solutions Challenge is the main component of the season. During Phase 1, teams will have 6 weeks to identify a problem in their community in one of 4 categories: education, environment, health, or economy, and come up with a solution to solve it using STEM. Teams will need to do research, brainstorm, and prototype their solution, going from idea to a fully thought out and actionable plan. At the end of this phase, teams will submit their project for judging. Teams will then progress on to Phase 2 and Phase 3, where they will augment their work. Details will be provided after the conclusion of Phase 1.
For the second half of the Solutions Challenge, teams will now come together to augment their work. In the spirit of cooperation, in Phase 2, teams have 2 weeks to form an alliance with 1 to 2 teams in the same category and from other continents with whom they will collaborate for the final phase. Rooted in the premise that one country's solution to a problem could benefit the rest of the world, in Phase 3, each alliance has 4 weeks to build upon their work and come up with one unified solution. The alliance will then submit a report and video outlining their story, approach, and what they accomplished. Global solutions require global collaboration. It's through working together that we discover, recover, and learn from today to build a better tomorrow with STEM.
In the CubeSat Prototype Challenge, teams will use components from a provided Arduino-based kit to design and build a CubeSat prototype and launch it into the lower layers of Earth's atmosphere. And in the Robotics Challenge, teams will reinforce their robot design, build, and programming skills using a provided Rev Robotics kit of parts to complete 4 individual build tasks, each representing a different component of a First Global robot. Teams will have the opportunity to benefit from STEM talks with various professionals, technical training sessions to improve their understanding of First Global robots and CubeSat prototypes, as well as various educational resources. An online culminating celebration after the conclusion of the season will highlight the work of First Global teams and announce prize and award winners. Join us for an exciting 12 weeks as we discover new opportunities, recover beneficial skills, and learn from today to build a better tomorrow with STEM.
Hello, I'm Tim.
And I'm Manisha, and we're excited to welcome you to the 2021 First Global Challenge celebration.
Now, for those of you who are not familiar, First Global is a nonprofit with a mission to inspire leadership and innovation in science and technology in young people from all nations by empowering youth around the world through education in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which is also known as STEM.
To do so, First Global hosts the annual First Global Challenge, an Olympic-style international robotics competition that brings together youth from all around the world in an event themed around an issue of global importance.
And although the 2021 First Global Challenge was held virtually due to the lasting effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, First Global continued its mission of inspiring youth around the world to learn, to develop their skills, and to make change in their home nations, signing on 177 countries for the 2021 season.
Over the course of 3 months, First Global teams worked together under the theme of Discover and Recover to innovate solutions to problems in their communities, polish their robotic skills, and even launch their own nanosatellites into the atmosphere, all while developing their STEM capabilities and connecting youth from around the world.
And today we're looking back at some of their accomplishments. So here's a preview of what's to come in this celebration.
Somos el Cuerpo Sudán de Colombia.
Discover and Recover has definitely taught us that the sky is not our limit and that we can achieve anything when we put our mind to it.
We realized that we can contribute to the present and future of our society more than ever and act for its improvement.
We will use this experience to enact meaningful change on a large scale by using what we learn to effectively communicate and work with people from different cultures to solve issues facing our world today.
You can see more information on the various aspects of the season at first.global/FGC.
Additionally, as teams participated, they were considered for awards and earned points towards prizes. We'll be announcing the event's winning teams later on in this awards ceremony, so make sure to stick around.
As inventor, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and founder of First Global, Dean Kamen, he has said STEM is the only sport where every kid can turn pro. And this is just as much fun as any other sport, but it has the opportunity to change your life.
And that's what we're going to be seeing today. By providing these opportunities to youth around the world, we're equipping the next generation of problem solvers with the vision, courage, and skill sets to work together to solve real global problems. And what way could be more fun than building robots?
And last year when we went virtual, the robotics component of the First Global Challenge had to take a break, but this year, the robots are back. The Robotics Challenge was one of two technical challenges this year. First Global teams each received a Rev Robotics kit of parts. They then built that robot to complete 4 individual build tasks, each representing a major component often found on First Global robots. Let's take a look.
I gotta say, I think probably my favorite part of that video were the pull-ups at the end. That was pretty sweet to see that, you got your student strength, you got your robot strength, and then you got the synchronization of the two. It's pretty sweet.
Again, that's the kind of timing that you like to see, especially within the short time frame that these kids have to put these teams together. And typically, in competition, when we have 3 teams competing on an alliance at any given time, too, that factors in. So they're already putting, the perfect work in, I would say, as far as getting everything set up and ready to roll.
We saw teams build robots that could navigate, climb, pick up objects, and launch objects. But this year, teams had another opportunity to use their STEM skills that were out of this world.
The second technical challenge was the first of its kind for First Global. The CubeSat Prototype Challenge gave teams the opportunity to craft every aspect of their CubeSat prototype kit and had less than 7 weeks to create their CubeSat prototypes, a type of nanosatellite to provide a tangible solution to a self-defined mission of importance in their own community.
They designed, they built, they programmed, tested, and then they deployed their CubeSat prototypes into the lower layers of the Earth's atmosphere, collecting data and imagery that they later analyzed upon recovery. Some missions include weather patterns, measuring pollution, and even capturing the effects of wildfires on forests. Let's take a look.
It's pretty incredible to watch, the sense of accomplishment that comes with getting up into those upper reaches of the atmosphere, looking at, again, just our place in the world and how small we are compared to it, and seeing these kids come together to, see that is something that really is incredible to watch from afar.
I think it's amazing because if you think about balloons that all of our students have probably had over the course of their lifetimes, just to watch, that fly away. But this is then something that they want to come back. They want to get that data and see what's happening in their atmosphere, what's happening in their environment. Because I think what's great about our program is we just emphasize local impact, global connection. But then to see that from a, aerial view, you get that sense of bigger picture,
You definitely get to look with a wider lens, and I would say that, the cheers at the end of it say it all for these teams, and many of them were actually the first youth in their country to launch a CubeSat prototype. I can sure as hell say I never have. So how cool is that? I mean, by introducing a space component to this year's challenge, First Global is paving the way for students from around the world to enter new STEM fields, including aerospace, which is just incredible.
For sure. And we've seen teams create multi-talented robots and launch them into the atmosphere, which is really cool in and of itself. But for First Global students, it's so much more than that. The main drive is to use all this technology for a purpose: solving problems.
As part of our STEM Talk series with various professionals, we sat down with Dr. Julie Gerberding, a lead expert in public health, to discuss overcoming health challenges. She spoke to the importance of problem solving and innovating solutions.
One of the important things that I learned along the way was to not assume that I know what problems need to be solved. So, as a scientist and as a physician, I think that I might have had the false impression that I could say, oh, this community needs that or this community needs that. So probably the starting point of all this is listening. to really get out on the front line, interact at the community level, really understand what are the true priorities. So that reality check is the starting point, because once you agree on the problems that need to be solved, then you can focus your efforts and you're much more likely to make a difference.
I really like how she spoke to the relevance of solving problems, hand in hand with the communities affected to create solutions that they actually need and work for them. And that's exactly what FIRST Global Teams did in the main component of the 2021 FIRST Global Challenge.
Called the Solutions Challenge, teams each did their own research to identify an important issue in their community in either education, the environment, health, or the economy. They then had 6 weeks to use STEM to craft a solution in Phase 1.
FIRST Global Teams utilized the engineering design process, spending time researching, brainstorming, planning, prototyping, and when possible, even creating their solutions.
In the education category, teams created educational websites to make learning more fun and improved access to information for students with limited resources.
In the environment category, teams designed environmentally friendly PPE, combated pollution, developed devices to detect wildfires, and enhanced trash collection and recycling.
In the health category, teams built devices to aid health workers, deliver medicines, and sanitize surfaces.
In the economy category, teams coded apps to empower entrepreneurs and business owners to reach consumers and increase the efficiency of business supply chains.
These are just some of the many projects that teams completed, each inspired by a problem they saw and each taking responsibility to do something about it.
This is a concept Dr. Winston Soboyejo, Senior Vice President and Provost of Mechanical Engineering at Worcester Polytechnic Institute, discussed in his STEM talk about overcoming educational challenges to ensure opportunities for all.
As you walk around, you should be like an artist that's looking to be inspired by the world around you. And you should be curious about that world and inspired by that world. And as you get that leads you to interesting problems that you want to approach. They could be problems, in my case, of energy or of health or water. And then you start thinking about really digging deep to figure out what the real problems are, not just what the initial perceptions are. So that requires you to talk to people. It requires you to get more information, to really figure out what are the well-posed problems that you can solve. I think this is one of the most amazing things about FIRST Global, because it encapsulates within the approach, in my mind, all of the things you need to succeed. One of the things that I found, and I asked my father this when I was a boy, I said, Dad, what does it take to be a great engineer? And I expected him to say, oh, be good at math or physics. He didn't say that. What he said was, you need to learn how to work in teams.
As Dr. Soboyejo said, the key to success really is working as a team. And that's why for Phase 2 of the Solutions Challenge, teams were given 2 weeks to form an alliance, joining forces with another team in their category. Teams communicated via the FIRST Global Forum and met up with different teams to figure out which partnerships would best fit. These teams partnered across cultures, languages, and continents, learning, having fun, and forming friendships.
Somos el Equebo Sudán
y el Equebo Colombia.
Marhaban Naknuk Feriku Colombia, Ua Feriku Sudan.
This time we saw Team Colombia's project from Phase 1, we are amazed because it's so creative and it's perfectly solved the targeted problem, and we know it is a chosen project to complement ours.
Although we are 11,452 kilometers apart, we made a good relationship in a short time, and we feel so comfortable working with each other.
Hicimos nuestra alianza con Sudán porque creemos que juntos podemos lograr grandes cosas. are definitely a good alliance because of our complementary skills that make our work very efficient.
Because our teammates have their specialized subjects, so we can do all the best in any aspects of this pilot project.
Our different backgrounds allow fresh insights and perspectives for both of our initial projects and mental health overall.
Thanks to the first Global Challenge, we are having a wonderful experience with a team from a different country, from a different part of the world.
And for the final part of the Solutions Challenge, Alliances entered Phase 3, where they had to work together to augment their previous efforts and come up with one unified solution. Here's a look at some of the Alliance projects from the health and economy categories.
Hi, we are Team Ireland.
Hey, we're Team Venezuela.
It is especially exciting to work with each other on an alliance because from the very first meeting we were able to connect with one another in an incredibly collaborative and friendly manner. We found that we shared similar experiences and visions despite the distance between us.
Both teams were thrilled when they realized that they'd each addressed the same issue as the other. The fact that elderly people were heavily impacted by COVID-19 and the required resources to ease their situations were not available.
Our difference provide us with a more comprehensive vision for the world, and we now recognize what it means to be a global citizen. We come together to do our best and use all of our STEM skills and potential to create positive change globally.
We imagine a future where the elderly have more opportunities and have access to better living conditions, both mentally and physically, because their needs are treated promptly with our Solutions project.
The Alliance allows us to recognize that there are no barriers that separate us, that the opportunities to make the world and society better are endless, and that together we're capable of anything.
For our team, it was really a challenge to form an alliance with someone from another continent, because it was something new and we have never had this kind of experience before. We succeeded in having some online meetings with Team Ivory Coast, from which we understood that we have the same thoughts, goals and intentions.
Ce qui fait de nous aussi une meilleure alliance, c'est notre capacité à travailler en équipe, à collaborer et à coopérer ensemble. Et la différence entre nos passés et nos expériences est une opportunité parce que grâce à la différence entre nos cultures, nos traditions et notre connaissance, on pourra mettre en place un produit unique qui n'a jamais été réalisé auparavant grâce à la combinaison de différentes traditions. Merci.
One of the main problems we encountered was the time zone difference, especially when school began, where we spent more than 7 hours per day.
Our big challenge was the spoken language, because we don't know French and the Team Ivory Coast doesn't know English well. Because of this, we had to communicate only through our mentors.
However, we managed to combine our projects in order to achieve better results and bigger impact.
By working together, we realized that our passion for STEM and the wish to make the Earth a better place for everyone helped us to pass many barriers.
We realized that it wasn't the easiest collaboration, but we are thankful that we had this experience and that we succeeded in doing many things we didn't know we were capable of.
We are grateful to First Global for such amazing opportunities.
Having formed an alliance between Team India and Team Chile has helped us embrace our differences and has truly led us to celebrate and enjoy our diverse backgrounds and experiences.
Just as we have many things in common, we have differences. Differences that, at least in our case, are no difficulties when working as a united team in the face of adversity.
हमारी परियोजना कोविड-19 युग से प्रेरित थी और निश्चित रूप से एक ऐसी चीज थी जिसने एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण चीज अवसर को प्रभावित किया। हम अर्थव्यवस्था से अपने राष्ट्रों और दुनिया की सुरक्षा और चिकित्सा आवश्यकताओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए छोटे व्यवसायों को समृद्ध होने के अवसर प्रदान करके अर्थव्यवस्था पर नकारात्मक प्रभाव को कम करना चाहते थे।
We knew the concept of work community before the 2021 First Global Challenge. Still, now we feel that we are active global citizens. We contributed somehow to build a better tomorrow. Pandemic was the chance for humanity to experience for the first time and at the same time similar emotions, fears, problems, fights. It wasn't about me or you anymore. It was about all of us.
Our final project goes under the name Health for Everyone. It consists of 5 prototypes and a web platform that allows people to access DIY documents and information about our projects and implement them in their country.
We suppose you wonder how is that whole experience. In that case, we can tell you that we failed a lot, but this was part of the innovation process. We made mistakes, but we quickly understood that these are the proofs we are trying. As said, we have learned to resist and thrive under pressure and to enjoy all the challenges, because it will always push us forward and over the limits.
Building an alliance with a team with cultures, schedules, languages, and ideas are so different from ours was a really incredible experience. The issues that we addressed in the project that each team was working on are very representative of our teams and country, as they really present the real problems in both countries.
Para nosotros fue muy importante trabajar a lo largo de este proyecto, dado que el surgimiento de emprendedores y proyectos en Uruguay es algo muy importante y a su vez la dependencia económica que tiene Seychelles con el petróleo son dos tópicos de los cuales se debe hablar y se debe trabajar para lograr una mejor solución.
Pero no fue lo único que aprendimos. Además, compartimos instancias y momentos que nos hicieron conocer y aprender juntos.
Consideramos que la experiencia fue muy enriquecedora, sobre todo porque nos demostró que las adversidades se pueden superar.
Instead, we understood that our differences made us a better team and allowed us to see beyond our own ideas.
Fue una experiencia muy motivante, de esas que dan ganas de seguir aprendiendo y cambiando nuestras comunidades.
We are extremely grateful to have undergone this experience and all that it has taught us.
I think it was awesome to see that all of these teams, they were able to surpass any language, any time difference barriers, and that's a really important skill to have learned at their age. It's something that I know after your high school experience, like if you're in a collegiate setting, if you're in the workplace, it's something you're going to need to develop. And so for them to have developed it this early, I think it's just going to take them light years into the future.
Well, even as parents as well, right? Like all of us need to be able to balance schedules at some point, right? A lot of different things to juggle at the same time. And trying to build those soft skills in this type of project is fantastic. I would argue that, you know, the uniqueness behind each one of their experiences as well, not just where they're located around the globe or that time difference. You know, it's so impactful that people commented on how like those individual experiences actually make us all stronger and make us better. And then they get, again, this shared experience of putting something together in those two teams, in those alliances that really, again, is super impactful. And you see that in the environment, too. So moving on to that in education in those two categories, here's a look at some of those alliance projects.
New technologies are changing education, but many countries, including our own, still rely on old technologies and old teaching methods. We knew we had to do something to change this, so we got to work. We had meetings, interviews, and we worked on the project around the clock. Many schools around the world still lack an internet connection, especially in rural areas, where a lot of infrastructure is needed to provide a connection. So we made an offline education system. It provides students with terabytes of educational content for a very low price. But theory alone isn't enough, so we made a complete STEM package that includes the tools, kits, and documentation necessary to build awesome projects, allowing students to learn by doing. All the software and documentation is available in the offline education system. We included several projects that students can build using cheap kits. Any student around the world, no matter where they live, will have the chance to learn very valuable practical skills. Our hope is that any community in the world can adapt and adopt this system to give students the opportunities they deserve.
We formed an alliance with Team Zimbabwe and picked the issue of plastic pollution as it is a challenge faced by people from both continents.
Hello, this is Team Zimbabwe in a meeting with Team USA.
Hello, I am Anthony, and here's Team USA.
Hello.
We are extremely glad to partner with Team Zimbabwe to tackle the problem of plastic waste on land and on water. We believe that together, our projects have the capability to change the world with technologies such as artificial intelligence and crowdsourcing.
We designed the Plastic Pirate and Land Boogie as solutions to this problem and designed the framework to make this into a global mission.
Fortunately, thanks to First Global Challenge, the young generation from South Africa and Brazil were able to encounter and combine two solutions that aim to solve the obsolescence of traditional education. Therefore, the final solution strikes all the strengths and natural elements of both the online platform eHub and Springboard Hub.
Within our solution, the school's community will be more connected and engaged to begin the innovative learning journey together.
Working with Team Slovakia is a phenomenal opportunity.
They will prove to be invaluable assets when finding the solution to the problem of excess waste in the environment.
Two teams from very different countries saw the same problem and decided to take action. Our solution is innovative and we are excited to work on it together.
The inspiration for our project was to come up with a face mask that would be comfortable to wear, would protect us from COVID-19, and most importantly, would not harm our environment.
Hence, a subsequent solution to recover was the creation of biodegradable masks.
The experience garnered throughout this challenge will help in promoting a mindset of conservation and preservation.
We are really happy to be allied with Team Bangladesh because together we can make something that is truly beneficial to the education sector.
We are very excited to work together on a solution to a problem that we identified in our own respective countries.
Our Alliance project is to gamify education by using the software and the hardware solution. We experience education that is not engaging and not entertaining enough. Most of the time, we spend on class can be termed as fun. Thus, we wanted to make learning engaging so that it can help the students in our countries.
We are both merging the process together to create a solution that can solve the problems in our countries.
Merging our different solutions was a major challenge, so we decided to solve this by
collaborating, debating, and brainstorming together as a team.
We learned how to coordinate better and how to be flexible when we're working with people from different time zones. We learned to overcome our language barriers, as none of us had English as our first language.
The two countries have very different histories and heritage. Our solutions also differ, as one is hardware and the other is software. While working together, we learned so many things about each other and our respective countries. It made the bond between us stronger, and it has been reflected in our project.
We learned to have faith in ourselves and our abilities as we tackled a global problem that we might have never thought we could solve. We also learned the value of collaboration and connection with other people and exchanging our ideas. Even outside our alliance, we were able to connect with some of the other teams, get to know them, and learn from them.
We also learned that there is more than one perspective to a certain solution or to a certain problem or topic. That's what Team Burundi actually taught us, because it came with different perspectives to our deforestation problem than we thought there was. We can teach people and help people realize that they're not an island. Two people or more can help solve a certain problem, either big or small.
What I learned in this project was that there's a lot of people in the world with different opinions, with different visions for one specific topic. So we need to hear them and empathize with them to make a better world.
This year's theme, Discover and Recover, is important to our country because having faced the debilitating effects that COVID-19 had on our country, it motivated us to explore new solutions and utilize the tools of STEM to help recover and rehabilitate our society. We will use this experience to enact meaningful change on a large scale by using what we learned to effectively communicate and work with people from different cultures to solve issues facing our world today.
Listen, it's pretty incredible to watch these types of videos and then to take some tidbits and quotes away from them, even word for word, one of which was, theory alone isn't enough. And that couldn't be any more true, especially when you see these teams, again, from such different places, different backgrounds, putting something tangible together in order to solve a problem.
I think it's also really powerful watching the way that they found bigger connections with each other. We talked about earlier how like time difference, languages, like that can be a barrier, which these teams have learned to overcome. But then to take it a step further and see like, okay, well, my continent is a different biome compared to yours. We have different temperatures, we have different oceans, you know? But then to find a common issue between the two. And then also bringing it back to how the pandemic has really affected all of us. Like COVID-19 has hit some of these countries significantly harder than others. So then the way that they all came together and was just found that common thread and brought the expertise, brought the different resources that they had to come together and find one overarching solution. I really liked Team Jamaica, the way that they said rehabilitate our world. And I think that to have that foresight at their age, I think if I had it, if we had it, I think it would be life-changing. So to see them really have that has been powerful.
Well, and you mentioned expertise. I would argue, you know, in some ways, I'm an expert in nothing, right? And all of us have different areas or worlds of expertise per se, where we feel like, you know, we're inclined at some things and we're not at others. But when you're thinking about the concept, you know, I would argue, again, human nature, like we're all so curious just as humans in general. We need to push buttons, we need to push boundaries. And so that word gamifying is something that came up with Bangladesh and Hungary, and something that as an educator, like I can't get enough of. It gives me goosebumps just saying that word. It's something that I think within the confines of education really allows people to get down to that human nature of just playing and exploring and learning. And it's something that, again, you see evidenced very much in the first Global Challenge.
For sure. And one aspect that really stuck out to me was how empowered our teams were to really achieve all of these amazing things together. It's a point that Ms. Joyce Masuya, Deputy Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Program, made in her STEM talk about how we can work collectively to nurture a healthier world for us all.
One message I would like to leave the participants and people at home is, if there is one generation that gives people like me hope and the oxygen to just push through, is your generation. So please keep on pushing and do not give up. 2, just be creative, you know, don't be complacent. Complacence is the beginning of stagnation. So push the envelope, use the innovation and the creative juices that you have and the STEM foundation to actually address the 3 planetary crises. You can do it.
That combination of awareness, skills, and drive to make a difference is what this generation uniquely brings to the table. For First Global Teams, this was more than a project. They went beyond meeting with officials and speaking with the media about their solutions and the importance of STEM. In the process, they gained support and even formed partnerships to further their work. So let's take a look at some of those highlights.
just another example of how First Global is just so much more than robots. These teams have developed their public speaking skills and learned how to pitch their ideas. It's one thing to have a solution, but being able to articulate it and gain that necessary support is crucial to making it a reality.
And that's something that Mr. Karan Bhatia, Vice President of Government Affairs and Public Policy at Google, spoke to in his STEM talk about how we can use STEM to build more resilient economies.
I mean, I cannot tell you how valuable and how important the kinds of orientation that STEM thinking brings to solving these big challenges. There is this intersection between STEM skills, technology, public policy that I think all combine to help, as we look at the world going forward in the future, that's that sweet spot. That's going to be the people who are actually making huge differences, resolving problems for their communities, for their countries, for the world. And so I'm super excited about this program and the folks that are participating in it.
And so if you want to hear more insights on the economic side of recovery, you can listen to his full talk on the First Global YouTube channel, along with our wonderful and darling Manisha.
Creating meaningful change is all about combining skills, technology, and partnerships. You may remember last year's celebration when we highlighted Team Honduras' story. Inspired by one of our social media challenges, they started a conversation with an official that resulted in a partnership between the government and a nonprofit organization called Shoulder to Shoulder to build a technology center in their region of Honduras.
And since then, the team has continued their work, and in June 2021, the center finally opened. And this year, the team focused on expanding the center's capabilities by creating a variety of resources and training materials. Let's take a look at their experience.
El impacto que ha tenido First Global a mi comunidad ha sido muy positiva, ya que mucha gente se quiere unir al equipo nacional de Honduras y quiere aprender sobre STEM y la robótica.
Somos un equipo de un país en el cual las oportunidades de desarrollarse en la educación STEM no son las mejores. Desde años anteriores se había tenido la visión de poder construir un lugar donde los estudiantes pudieran obtener educación técnica basada en STEM para poder aumentar sus capacidades. Entonces, uno de los puntos de inflexión que hubieron durante el año pasado fue uno de los retos en los cuales un requisito fue tener contacto con las autoridades. Entonces fueron los primeros pasos de la construcción del centro STEM.
El equipo nacional de robótica Honduras se contactó con el ingeniero Nelson Márquez, ministro de la Secretaría de Desarrollo Comunitario, Agua y Saneamiento. Se llegaron a consensos como trabajar de la mano con el equipo de robótica en futuros proyectos como los que se van a emprender en el año 2021.
Se hicieron las gestiones y ahora se tiene correctamente el centro STEM construido con ayuda gubernamental y con la ayuda de la gestión de nuestro patrocinador, que en este caso es Hombro a Hombro.
El objetivo del centro tecnológico es abrir las puertas para que jóvenes, niños y adultos tengan la oportunidad de saber STEM y sepamos desenvolvernos en la sociedad como grandes líderes. Porque demuestran que hay personas capaces, personas que desean a través del aprendizaje cambiar el futuro del país.
Me siento muy feliz y muy orgullosa al ver lo que el equipo de Honduras ha logrado, a ver todo el progreso que han obtenido en robótica.
Gracias a First Global y a la competencia se abrieron nuevas oportunidades para mí. He aprendido bastante a lo largo de la competencia.
First Global significa mucho porque estos jóvenes están descubriendo quiénes son, lo que les gusta, qué quieren ser cuando sean grandes, qué misión tienen en la vida. Hacen que la comunidad y el país entero se sientan orgullosos de ellos.
Listen, to see impactful experiences like the First Global Challenge be able to give kids even more motivation, once they go back to their home nations, and then, take that long, that long grasp at that one obstacle, that one challenge that they might see, and take that shot that they, might be infinitesimally small, but is something that's not going to deter them, and look at what pans out. I mean, it's not just the mental fortitude that they show on the field on an annual basis in the competitions we give them, but in how they approach these problems at the social level, at the political level, in ways, again, that are impactful and in ways that they individually dictate. To see, that center like that get built in that way, just from that authentic building of connections and kids reaching out to the highest members of society, it really shows how this is a common, solution, and how those types of networks, those partnerships are going to get us there, as well as that motivation.
I think it also speaks to the level of leadership that our students have developed during their time as participating in the First Global Challenge. They really are there to just find that solution, help their local community, but also foster a world that, it's going to surpass them. They don't want to be the end of the chain. They want to see the chain keep going. And I think that's just, it's been incredible to see the impact of participation in the First Global Challenge. And it's, as we near today's celebration, here's some final reflections from our students on their experience in this year of discovery and recovery.
When I hear discover and recover, I immediately think of being adventurous, coming across new challenges, experiences, journeys, and most of all, reviving, rejuvenating, and exploring our capabilities. Discover and recover has definitely taught us that the sky is not our limit and that we can achieve anything when we put our mind to it. Therefore, I believe with our dedicated citizens, especially the youth of Namibia, if we discover and recover, our true potential could be shown.
First Global Competition connect people as well as creative ideas. And for me, the most interesting part was making CubeSat.
If someone asks me about what was one of your best experiences in your life, I would certainly answer that it was participating for the First Global Competition. I learned lots of lessons from this competition, that there is nothing that you cannot achieve while trying hard and working as a team. In our alliance with Team France, we learned that even with different cultures and different peoples, we can communicate and collaborate with each other. If you work as a team and if you work hard for achieving one single goal, there is no way that you cannot achieve it. I feel very proud that me and my group could work tirelessly on the robots until we could finally get to our goal.
Pues mi experiencia en First Global, al momento de saber los retos, para mí causó una gran emoción y una gran alegría, porque en Guatemala no muchas veces se encuentran tipos de competencias similares a ese. Entonces, para mí, al poder participar en First Global, fue una gran oportunidad no solo de calificar mis cualidades, mis talentos y mis límites, sino que fue un reto en donde yo mismo puedo superarme.
استفدنا كثير أشياء من المسابقة، قدرنا نعرف أهمية تطبيق STEM بحياتنا لنعالج المشاكل اللي عم نواجهها بطريقة علمية مبتكرة.
All throughout the First Global Competition, we have gained many skills. For example, researching, analyzing, and collecting data.
We learned to code and program the robot for each competition task.
Our writing and analytical skills have been improved significantly during this competition.
All the effort was worth it, and I, or better yet, we as a team, believe that we took the most we could out of it, and whether it was in the skills and the experience gained or even lessons we've been through. And we had challenges, of course we had challenges, but personally I think that was the main fun of this season. The idea of struggling, discussing, sharing opinions, and in the end finding the best way to get through it.
Thank you, First Global, for giving us this opportunity to unlock new memories with our teammates. And thank you so much for letting us explore the world in a different dimension.
The last few weeks have made clear the potential our generation has. Talking to other teams and colleagues, listen to their ideas and follow their projects, we come across skilled, motivated, and engaged young people.
we realized that we can contribute to the present and future of our society more than ever and act for its improvement. We genuinely believe that thanks to this amazing experience, we will be able to make the world better.
Join us on the greatest adventure of our lives, something that started as a hobby and ended up being the greatest project we have ever done. We are part of a huge community, a community of young people who think like mathematicians, scientists, and engineers to solve real-world problems. Young people who inspire others to be better. Young people who want to make a difference in this world. First Global is an opportunity to be agents of change through science and technology. What we learned to think, we learned to make robots, we learned to build satellites, we learned to code, and we brought STEM to everyday challenges. Our team became a family. We work together now to solve tomorrow's problems. We are not the future, we are already the present.
Well, that last quote in and of itself is something that it really shakes me kind of to my core when he says, we're not the future, we're already in the present. I mean, we've mentioned that change in manifold ways on this program alone tonight and throughout, this overall competition. But I think part of that is paired with what that scientist from Namibia had said at the very beginning, which is be adventurous. And that's something that, the adventure of this challenge is terrific, but the individual adventure, the individual journey that each of these kids goes on in bettering themselves, their understanding of the world and how to tackle the challenges that we're facing is, again, one of many resonant things to take away from this experience for everybody involved.
I definitely agree. I think it's monumental, the amount of work and the amount of passion that's really behind everything that our teams are doing. The world is still, recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic. And in a lot of ways, these students, they recognize that things aren't going to be the same way that they were before. And why should they? Why can't we find new ways to innovate, bring people together, and building the skills that they're building during this past season? I think they've discovered a lot, and they're definitely going to recover moving forward with all of the things that they've learned.
And through that, communication and collaboration that teams from, Afghanistan highlight on that recent video, and then thinking about the skills as well, in addition to that of like analyzing, researching, collecting data, coding, writing. Team Malaysia highlighted that. So the skills, again, are manifold, and no one knows that better of all people than Dean Kamen. And before we move on to announcing the winners and wrapping up the celebration, we obviously want to talk to the founder of First Global and the man whose vision that made it all possible. So let's talk to Dean.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Dean Kamen, and I'm happy that we're all here for this culminating event of the 2021 First Global Challenge. You've all worked hard this year. It's been a hard year for everybody around the world in many, many ways. This pandemic has certainly taken its toll. But I hope that everyone involved in First Global recognizes the power and importance of technology and getting a great and early introduction to the power of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. There's many, many ways people have restated the idea that talent is equally distributed among all kids in the world, but opportunity is not. It's good that people recognize that problem, but as you've seen in discovery and recovery from problems, it's not good enough to know that it's a problem. You need a solution. First Global is the solution to the fact that while talent is equally distributed, as you've all seen, we need to make sure opportunity is also available to all kids around the world so that they can all participate in solving their own problems and helping each other solve the world's problems. I hope your participation in First Global has shown you, on the one hand, how you can compete, how you can each deliver better ideas than the next team, but more importantly, that you can work together in alliances, because realistically, we're all on the same team. We're all competing with global pandemics, with global warming, with food and water shortages, with needs for education and security. And we hope that First Global is proof to each one of you of the power of teamwork and working together. We're going to grow a bigger and better global community of problem solvers that will, for sure, make this world a better place for all of us. I'd remind you that as some recognition and some prizes and some awards may be given out in the next few minutes to some of you, the biggest and best reward has already been given to all of you. You're now members of the First Global team. We hope for the rest of your lives. We hope you'll help us build a global community, and I look forward to seeing all of you next year. Congratulations.
As we look to the future that Dean envisions, let's recognize some of the youth who helped build it. The prize winners and award winners of the 2021 First Global Challenge.
And we want to emphasize that whether your First Global team receives recognition in this celebration or not, that all of you are winners who've achieved much to be proud of. And you've represented your country on the international stage, the national stage as well, utilized your skills to create a real impact, and then you learned and grew so much along the way. And that's, to me at least, real success. So we're proud of each and every one of you.
I absolutely agree. This year we had 7 awards in addition to various prizes. Some prizes were awarded based on total points earned, while the remaining were decided from a random raffle of teams that participated. Here is the prize winners list.
Congrats to all of those prize winners. You can see the full list of winners on the First Global website at first.global/FGC.
And now it's time to announce the award winners for the 2021 First Global Challenge. These are individuals, teams, and alliances that stood out based on their performance during the event.
And our first award is the Outstanding Mentor Award, which recognizes mentors who were committed to their team and inspired them to keep going despite any challenges that they faced. And this is a team-submitted award, so these mentors were nominated by their own students. In alphabetical order, the winners are Gabriela Tomás do Amaral Ribeiro from Team Brazil,
Felipe Pick-and-Pack from Team Chile,
Ajwin Shah from Team India,
Naraz Arif from Team Iraq,
Mircea Nistor from Team Romania,
Osama Ali from Team Sudan,
Mikhail Reddy from Team South Africa,
and Fatim Kalfala Hamouda from Team Tunisia.
Congratulations. We're grateful to each of you and all of the mentors who dedicate so much of their time supporting the First Global Youth. And next up, the Judges Award is given to teams that may not have fit the criteria of any specific award, but from what the judges saw, their journey, interactions with other teams, behavior, or other criteria deserve recognition. So the winners of this year's Judges Award are,
in recognition of their great teamwork and serving as good role models, Team Guyana.
Team Guyana Robotics.
And in recognition of their perseverance and furthering of First Global values despite extraordinary obstacles, Team Afghanistan.
Team Afghanistan, thank you, First Global.
Congratulations to Team Guyana and Team Afghanistan for winning the Judges Award.
Team Afghanistan has continued to inspire ever since their debut at the 2017 First Global Challenge in Washington, D.C. And although the girls on the team have changed over the years, they've had the same mission and continued dedication.
This year, the country of Afghanistan went through some exceptional turmoil in August, which happened to be the middle of the 2021 First Global Challenge. Team Afghanistan's activities were disrupted and they faced immense barriers to continue their participation.
And despite all of these reasons to drop out of the competition itself, they persevered forward. And they made the difficult decision to leave their home country, families, friends, and previous robotics work all behind. They made it to Qatar and promptly asked for their robot kit of parts and CubeSat prototype kit to be shipped there so they could continue their participation. And continue they did. Here's a look at their story.
I joined First Global Team Afghanistan because I wanted to prove the world that if Afghan girls have the facilities, they can be a good part in technology and they can do whatever they want.
Robotics and STEAM give me the feeling of freedom, because I feel that I can create something that is on my mind. I can change my imagination to reality. It gives me the feeling of you can help your people, because most of our projects and robots are for serving people and also for solving a problem in our community.
And our country suddenly crashed.
The Taliban completing its stunning takeover in little more than a week.
Thousands of Afghans were evacuated overnight.
We didn't have any internet, and we can't go out from home, and we can't go to class.
We had to leave our country because of continuing our education, even though it was really hard for us.
We left our family, we left our schools, and we left all our friends in Afghanistan.
We had to leave Afghanistan because of our dreams, our hopes, the ambition that we had. We had to change them to reality.
From the first, we had a lot of problems, but we never give up and we continue our way.
Because it is the only way that we can serve to our people. I mean that the only choice that we had for helping our people, it was for participating for this challenge.
All the Afghan generation have abilities. They just need the facilities to make a big change in the world.
If someone asks me about what was one of your best experiences in your life, I would certainly answer that it was participating for the first global competition.
First global for me means finding friends, inspiration and innovation, and also thinking. So it covers all of the stage of our life.
Getting educated is really important for all of the people and also for me, because your future depends on your education.
Then I can go back to my country and serve everyone that needs help. We are trying to do our best to make our country proud of us and tell the other girls that they should never give up.
And the Afghan girls have a lot of ability. When they have opportunity, they can do it.
Thank you,
I think when you're looking at that team in particular, and their incredible story, one of many here, but certainly one that sticks out, you think earlier on about one of those young scientists talking about collaboration and communication. And with those types of things, I would argue, along with the motivation that they've always established, I think she had said it specifically, like there's no way you can't win. There's no way you can lose a problem when you bring those types of things to the table. And they have done it year in and year out. It's something, again, we've seen from the very, very get-go. It's incredible to watch.
I absolutely agree. I think one of my favorite things about this team is their indomitable spirit. Whatever life throws at them, whatever challenges the world, inspires them to tackle, they do it with such wonderful grace. And I think another really awesome thing about them is that they have this awesome passion for education. All of them, they have immense emphasis on how it's changed their lives. And they don't want to just stop. They want to have that continue for themselves and for others. And they have this spirit to serve others, which is incredible. And a mission like that takes hard work and courage, which is the theme of our next award. The Raja Sherkawi El Morsley Award for Courageous Achievement is awarded to the teams that exhibit a can-do attitude throughout the challenge, even under difficult circumstances, or when things don't go as planned.
Third place for the Raja Sherkawi El Morsley Award for Courageous Achievement goes to Team Zimbabwe.
We are Team Zimbabwe.
Second place for the Raja Sherkawi El Morsley Award for Courageous Achievement goes to Team Sudan.
Team Sudan!
And first place for the Raja Sherkawi El Morsley Award for Courageous Achievement goes to Team Brazil.
Team Brazil.
Congratulations to Team Zimbabwe, Team Sudan, and Team Brazil for winning the Raja Sherkawi El Morsley Award for Courageous Achievement. The next award is the Francisco Jose de Caldas Award for Sustainable Excellence, which is awarded to the individuals who positively contributed to the experience, growth, and sustainability of First Global programs. This award is named after the Colombian mathematician, engineer, lawyer, and inventor, who also patriotically defended his country in the Spanish-American Wars of Independence.
And this year, the Francisco Jose de Caldas Award for Sustainable Excellence goes to individuals who have inspired us through their efforts. Carol Edelman, for her continued support of First Global and the volunteer program since 2017.
Laura London, for her continued support of the First Global program strategy and public relations efforts since 2018.
And the mentors of Team Qatar, Mohammed and Tala, for their tireless support of Team Afghanistan in addition to their own team, which often had them working late into the evenings and weekends in order to ensure that both teams had the materials, the technical expertise, and guidance needed to complete the challenges. They went above and beyond to help Team Afghanistan settle in Qatar, obtain their kit parts, a space to work, and much more.
Congratulations, and thank you all for your efforts and support.
Next is the First Global Challenge Award, which recognizes the 3 top teams in each category of Phase 1 of the Solutions Challenge. In the education category, 3rd place goes to Team Cambodia.
Cambodia. 2nd place goes to Team Latvia.
And 1st place goes to Team Brazil.
Team Brazil.
In the environment category, 3rd place goes to Team Republic of Korea.
2nd place goes to Team United States of America.
We are Team USA.
Yay! And 1st place goes to Team Trinidad and Tobago.
Team Trinidad and Tobago. In the health category, 3rd place goes to Team Gambia.
We are Team Gambia.
2nd place goes to Team Greece.
Team Greece.
And 1st place goes to Team Romania.
Go Team Romania. Thank you First Global Challenge 2021.
And in the economy category, 3rd place goes to Team Chile.
2nd place goes to Team Uruguay.
And 1st place goes to Team India.
Congratulations to all of the winners of the First Global Challenge Award. Our next award is the First Global Grand Challenge Award. Now, this award recognizes the top 3 alliances in each category of the Solutions Challenge.
In the education category, 3rd place goes to the Team Poland and Team Yemen Alliance.
Team Poland, Team Yemen, we have them.
Thank you. 2nd place goes to the Team Brazil and Team South Africa Alliance.
We are Team Brazil. We are Team South Africa.
And 1st place goes to the Team Philippines and Team Tunisia Alliance.
Team Philippines and Team Tunisia.
In the environment category, 3rd place goes to the Team Palestine and Team Nigeria Alliance.
Hello, we are Team Palestine and our alliance is with Team Nigeria.
2nd place goes to the Team Iran and Team Singapore Alliance.
Iran. Singapore.
And 1st place goes to the Team United States of America and Team Zimbabwe Alliance.
We are Team USA.
We are Team Zimbabwe.
In the health category, 3rd place goes to the Team Australia and the Team Croatia Alliance.
Let's go Team Australia.
2nd place goes to the Team Belarus and Team Ghana Alliance.
And 1st place goes to the Team Canada and Team Greece Alliance.
Yay! And in the economy category, 2nd place goes to the Team Seychelles and Team Uruguay Alliance.
Team Seychelles.
And 1st place goes to the Team Chile and Team India Alliance.
Congratulations to all of the winners of the First Global Grand Challenge Award.
And our last award is the First Global Discover and Recover Award. Within the 2021 First Global Challenge, this award recognizes the top 3 alliances that scored the highest for the Solutions Challenge.
Third place for the first Global Discover and Recover Award goes to the Team Canada and Team Greece Alliance.
We are together for a better future. Yay!
Second place for the first Global Discover and Recover Award goes to the Team Philippines and Team Tunisia Alliance.
Team Philippines and Team Tunisia.
And the first place for the first Global Discover and Recover Award goes to the Team United States of America and Team Zimbabwe Alliance!
We are Team USA!
We are Team Zimbabwe.
Congratulations to Team Canada, Team Greece, Team Philippines, Team Tunisia, Team United States of America, and Team Zimbabwe for winning the first Global Discover and Recover Award.
And a big congratulations to all of the first global teams for being part of this amazing journey. Congratulations to all.
Among the award winners, it's exciting to see such a spread of teams from all parts of the world. It shows the value of ideas and efforts that transcend geographic boundaries. They transcend language, they transcend time zones, and really anyone can contribute.
And it's also inspiring to see that there were these individual teams that were not even among their top category in Phase 1, and yet their alliance won it for Phase 3. Look at that. It's a testament to the value of teamwork and then that collaboration in creating great solutions. The fields of STEM have that kind of transformative power, not only in bringing youth together to collaborate, but also in empowering them to then tackle the challenges of today and tomorrow.
For the social media challenge titled It's Showtime, we tasked First Global students with combining their voices to inspire the globe. Here's their message in one powerful video.
The future may seem formidable.
Each day, a new challenge to overcome.
But no obstacle is truly invincible.
When we work together
as one.
Algunas personas solo ven problemas.
Pero nosotros vemos incontables oportunidades.
We may be young,
but our paths are clear.
IT specialist.
Fondo Kashmir.
Teacher. Ingeniero.
Se trata de algo más que una carrera.
STEM es un estilo de vida.
Good, big and small.
所以不管我们的背景和教养如何
We are empowered to play our part
in improving life for all.
Podemos resolver los desafíos de nuestra propia generación.
Ensure water purification.
Enhance energy creation.
تسهيل الحفاظ على المحيطات.
Revolucionar a educação.
Develop sustainable urbanization.
Nature conservation.
Further transportation.
And many other innovations.
And in the process, transform the lives and well-being
of people from all nations.
It all starts
With me.
with me, sa akin,
With me.
With me.
Y contigo.
And on that inspiring note, we come to the end of our celebration of the 2021 First Global Challenge.
To find the full list of winners, all Alliance videos, and more information about the participating teams, you can visit first.global/FGC.
And make sure that you're subscribed to the First Global newsletter so that you don't miss out on any exciting updates or opportunities. You can sign up at first.global/newsletter.
From collaborating across continents and creating solutions to real community problems, to improving a variety of technical skills, to even lifting off in their own space adventures, this year we've seen how much of an impact youth can have when they simply have the opportunity.
And if you're as inspired as we are and would like to support the impact of First Global around the world, you can make a contribution at first.global/donate.
The 2021 First Global Challenge may sadly be at its close, but for our teams, learning, engagement, and community work will continue on.
And on behalf of First Global, thank you to all those who joined us on this wonderful journey.
We'll see you next time.
Discover